So a clip of JJ Redick and Luka Doncic going at each other on the Lakers sideline has set the internet on fire, and people everywhere are connecting dots, asking questions, and throwing out theories about what this means for the Lakers moving forward. We are going to break down what happened, why it happened, and what it tells us about this Lakers team in 2026. Let's get into the incident between JJ Redick and Luka Doncic that has the NBA world buzzing. On Saturday, February 28th, the Los Angeles Lakers traveled to Chase Center to take on the Golden State Warriors. The clip in question occurred during LA's 129-101 road win over the Golden State Warriors, when Doncic was subbed out of the game and walked to his seat on the bench without accepting Redick's fist bump. Now that alone might not sound like a lot to some people. Players get subbed out all the time. They sit down, they take a breath, they drink some water. It happens. But what followed is where things got interesting. Redick followed Doncic down the sideline, and the two shared a few heated words before Redick walked back toward half court. According to decoded audio from the sideline interaction that made its way across social media, the conversation went something like this. Redick said, "What's your problem? Huh? You pushed my hand away. What are you upset about?" Luka responded with, "I didn't." And then Redick told him to sit the f down, to which Luka responded, "What? Yo." Now that exchange, captured on camera from a courtside angle, was posted by multiple social media accounts and spread across X, formerly known as Twitter, at a rate that you would not believe. One moment from the victory over Golden State has followed the Lakers into this week. Over the last few days, a clip of Luka Doncic appearing to bicker with coach JJ Redick on the LA sideline has gone viral. But the exchange did not end with Redick walking away. After Redick cleared the area and Doncic sprung to his feet to bark more at his coach, Lakers forward Vanderbilt stood up from his seat and clapped his hands to put a barrier between the two. That part of the video is what really added fuel to the situation. The idea that a teammate had to physically step in between a head coach and his franchise player was not something people could just scroll past and ignore. After Redick walked away, Doncic jumped up to potentially continue the argument. But Vanderbilt quickly hopped up and clapped in front of Doncic as a potential diversionary tactic, and it worked. Luka then shook his head and sat back down. Let's put this into context. The Lakers snapped a 3-game losing streak over the weekend by taking it to the short-handed Warriors at Chase Center on Saturday night, winning 129-101. It was a needed release of frustration for Los Angeles after a blowout loss at the hands of the Celtics was followed by 2 narrow defeats by 4 points combined. So the frustration was already building. These were not random losses either. They were the kind of losses that eat at competitive people. Close games that slip away in the final possessions. LA had been on a 3-game losing streak going into the Golden State game, including last-second losses against Orlando and Phoenix. Before the Phoenix loss, Luka had put up 41 points on 12 of 21 shooting, and still came out on the wrong end of the scoreboard, 113-110. That is the kind of performance that makes any player angry. You give everything, play one of your best games, and still lose. So heading into Golden State, the whole team was on edge, and during the game itself, Luka was playing well again. Doncic posted 26 points on 9 of 17 shooting, 4 of 9 from 3, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, 1 steal and 1 block over 29 minutes during the Lakers' 129-101 win over the Warriors on Saturday. So it is not like he was having a bad game. He was having an efficient night. The Lakers were winning. And yet when he got subbed out and Redick tried to speak with him, something triggered the exchange. The Don was walking to the sideline when JJ tried to speak with him, but Luka swiped his hand away. This led to Redick to begin shouting at the Slovenian sensation before walking away. Naturally, the internet did what the internet does. The short courtside clip showed tension between the Los Angeles Lakers star and his head coach during their game against the Golden State Warriors. Within hours, the moment circulated widely online and sparked speculation about everything from locker room chemistry to the long-term dynamics between the two. The clip was everywhere. Every NBA account, every sports talk show, every podcast, all of them ran with it. And the narrative being pushed was clear. JJ Redick and Luka Doncic have a problem. The Lakers are falling apart. Redick cannot handle this roster. That was the story. And for a lot of people, that was the conclusion. No questions asked. To understand why this moment hit the way it did, you have to understand how this Lakers team was assembled and why JJ Redick is the one coaching it. JJ Redick is an American professional basketball coach and former player who is the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers of the National Basketball Association. Before he was a coach, he was an ESPN analyst. Before he was an analyst, he was a player. He spent 15 seasons in the NBA, mostly known as one of the best shooters in the league. He played college basketball for the Duke Blue Devils, winning many individual awards, including the Naismith College Player of the Year, Selected 11th overall by the Orlando Magic in the 2006 NBA Draft, he played for 15 years in the NBA with 6 teams. After retiring, Redick built one of the most successful media careers any former player has ever put together. Redick's The Old Man in the Three has over 320 million views on YouTube and 4.8 stars on Apple Podcasts. And then he launched another podcast, this time with LeBron James. In March 2024, Redick and LeBron James launched a podcast called Mind the Game, co-produced by Redick and James's production companies, 342 Productions and Uninterrupted, where the two have pure conversations about basketball. That podcast relationship with LeBron is what brought Redick into the coaching conversation for the Lakers. After the team fired Darvin Ham in May 2024, they went after UConn coach Dan Hurley first, but Hurley turned down their reported offer of 6 years, $70 million on June 10th, opting to remain in Connecticut and pursue the chance of a three-peat with the Huskies. After Hurley said no, the Lakers went to Redick. Redick was announced as the 29th head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers on June 24, 2024. With this, Redick became a rookie head coach with no prior coaching experience, other than serving as a volunteer head coach of the 4th grade boys team at Brooklyn Basketball Academy, where his 9-year-old son played. No NBA coaching experience, no assistant coaching experience, nothing. And yet, in his first season, Redick coached the Lakers to a 50-32 record, the 3rd best in the Western Conference, in his first season as head coach. That is a serious accomplishment for anyone, let alone a first-time coach. The team rewarded him for it too. Before the 2025-26 season, though James's future remains in flux, Pelinka announced the team's commitment to Redick, its second-year coach who signed a 4-year deal in June 2024. Though terms of the new deal were not announced, sources told ESPN's Shams Charania that it was a multi-year extension. Rob Pelinka made it clear why they extended Redick. He said, "We think he's a special coach with a special voice that's really helping us define the culture of Lakers excellence." Now, on to the other half of this story. How did Luka Doncic end up in a Lakers uniform? The Luka Doncic-Anthony Davis trade was a National Basketball Association trade made on the night of February 1st, 2025, which saw Luka Doncic traded from the Dallas Mavericks to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis in a 3-team deal facilitated by the Utah Jazz. That trade was one of the most shocking moments in the history of American sports. Journalists have called the transaction one of the most unexpected trades in NBA and American sports history, with many media members, fans, and NBA players criticizing it and expressing shock as Doncic had not even requested a trade and was an all-NBA player in his prime. The full deal was straightforward in terms of the players involved. The Lakers acquired Luka in that shocking trade last February with the Dallas Mavericks, where they sent Max Christie, Anthony Davis, and a 2029 first-round pick to the Mavs in the deal. The Jazz received Jalen Hood-Schifino and 2 second-round picks to facilitate the salary matching. The Mavericks' reasoning came down to concerns about Doncic's conditioning and the looming Supermax extension. Per ESPN's Tim McMahon, the Mavericks had major concerns with Doncic's conditioning and impending potential Supermax contract extension. Harrison justified the deal by saying he believed defense wins championships and that Davis gave them a better chance. But the basketball world largely viewed it as one of the most lopsided trades in memory. The overwhelming consensus was that the Lakers won the trade. So that is how this Lakers team came together. A first-time head coach who came from media, paired with a franchise player who was traded to Los Angeles without asking for it, alongside LeBron James, who is now in his 8th season with the franchise. That combination is unlike anything the league has seen in recent memory. And when things get tense, like they did on that sideline in Chase Center, the whole world pays attention. Once the video of Redick and Doncic was out in the open, the reaction was immediate and it was loud. Everyone had something to say. NBA fans, former players, analysts, nobody held back. Fans reacted with various comments about what they saw in the viral X clip, including several defending Redick as the team's coach. "At least you should respect your coach. You can't be bigger than the team," a commenter wrote in the X replies. Another said, "I respect the fact that JJ will hold his stars accountable. He was clearly pissed at Luka and got in his face to send a message to him about it. Good coaches hold their stars accountable." On the other side of it, there were people who immediately questioned whether Redick could survive this. JJ Redick may not last long with the Lakers if Luka requests a trade, one commenter wrote, while another said, "It was nice knowing you JJ Redick as the Lakers coach." That is the nature of the internet in 2026. A 10-second clip becomes the foundation for trade demands, firing rumors, and full-blown narratives about a franchise's direction. One moment is turned into a story about power dynamics, coaching authority, and player empowerment. And the Lakers, because they are the Lakers, get the volume turned all the way up on everything. But in the middle of all the noise, something else from the clip started getting attention. Jarred Vanderbilt's reaction. While most attention centered on the confrontation itself, many observers focused on something else entirely. Jarred Vanderbilt's quick reaction. The Lakers forward stepped in immediately after the exchange escalated, positioning himself between Doncic and Redick before the situation could intensify further. That split-second decision quickly became the defining moment of the clip. Vanderbilt intervened. Instead of confronting either side, the forward casually moved into Doncic's path while clapping and celebrating on the sideline. The action blended into the normal activity around the bench, making it difficult for cameras to capture anything unusual. NBA veteran Draymond Green weighed in on the Vanderbilt moment specifically. Draymond Green later highlighted that exact detail while reacting to the clip online. That is as important on an NBA team as anything a player not a star can do on the court. Offer that to a team, Green commented on a post featuring the incident. That endorsement from Green, someone who has been in plenty of heated situations himself throughout his career, tells you something about the context here. This was not a locker room falling apart. This was not a team in crisis. The remark underscored what many inside basketball circles noticed immediately. Vanderbilt's awareness and timing prevented the exchange from growing into something far more dramatic. And let's look at what some media members were saying behind the scenes. The noise got loud enough that ESPN's primary Lakers reporter, Dave McMenamin, went on NBA Today and reported 3 sources strongly downplayed any semblance of tension between the two. That is 3 separate sources, all telling one of the most connected Lakers reporters in the business that this was not a big deal. But that reporting gets drowned out by the volume of the hot takes. The reality is, a calm and measured analysis of a 10-second video clip does not generate clicks, shares, or views the same way that Luka and Redick are at war does. And that is the world we live in. The sensational version of events will always travel faster than the nuanced one. Some people even connected this to Doncic's history in Dallas. Rashad McCants claims Doncic versus Kidd was a huge reason for Luka getting chucked out of Dallas. So there is a segment of people who look at this Redick situation and say, here we go again. Luka is going to have the same problem with every coach. But that take ignores some important details. The circumstances in Dallas were different. The trade was initiated by the Mavericks front office, not by Doncic. And the coaching dynamics with Jason Kidd were not the same as what Redick has built here. Redick is a former player, someone Luka actually played alongside in Dallas, before Redick retired. The trade also reunites Doncic with Redick, his former Mavericks teammate. Doncic was one of the Mavericks players on the floor when Redick came out of a game for the final time on May 11, 2021. So they have a personal history that predates this coaching situation. That matters. 3 days after the clip went viral, JJ Redick stood in front of the media before the Lakers game against the New Orleans Pelicans, and he did not duck the question. He addressed it head on. After a testy bench exchange between JJ Redick and Luka Doncic made the rounds on the internet, the Los Angeles Lakers coach said he didn't know why the interaction warranted extra attention. "I don't know why it went viral," Redick said, before the Lakers' 110-101 win over the New Orleans Pelicans on Tuesday. "It felt very normal to me." That response is telling. Redick is not a coach who runs from confrontation, and he is not a coach who pretends things did not happen. He just looked at the situation for what it was and called it what he believed it was: normal. He went further. "I was talking to Luka about it. We were actually laughing about it. I was like, I didn't feel any tension. He was like, nah, I didn't care about it. Laughing about it." That is not the image of a relationship in crisis. That is the image of 2 people who had a competitive moment and moved on from it the same way professionals do in every high-pressure environment. Redick also talked about the nature of competition and what happens when 2 people who care about winning are trying to get on the same page. "I didn't think much of it at the time, to be honest with you," Redick said. "I don't think Luka did either. He and I have a great relationship. I really value our relationship. And I think those things happen. Not every game, but they happen very frequently." He continued saying, "It's a competition. And there's 2 guys here who, in this case, are trying to win a basketball game and be on the same page about stuff." On top of Redick's own comments, sources close to the situation also weighed in. When asked about the Redick-Doncic moment, a Lakers source dismissed any deeper meaning, telling ESPN, "Find me a star on a 3-game losing streak in the NBA that isn't frustrated." And a source close to Doncic told ESPN that the two have a strong, close relationship, adding that they are both fiercely competitive and are always pushing each other. That last part is important. Pushing each other. That is not dysfunction. That is accountability. And accountability is what good teams are built on. If Redick let Luka walk past him, ignore a fist bump, and not say a word about it, That would be a problem. If a head coach does not hold his star player to a standard, even in the middle of a game they are winning, then that coach has already lost the locker room. Redick did the opposite. Redick giving him the business is what a head coach should do. Players are the bread and butter, but it's the coach's locker room at the end of the day. That is the perspective of someone who understands how teams function. The coach sets the tone, and Redick, despite being a first-time head coach, has clearly set a tone in that locker room that says nobody is above being checked. Not even a player averaging over 32 points a game. Now let's look at what happened on the court after the incident, because the results tell a story that the viral clip does not. LA won its next game too, 128-104 over the Sacramento Kings, with Doncic putting up 28 points and 9 assists. Then came the Pelicans game, which the Lakers won 110-101. The Lakers not only won Saturday's contest, but enter play Wednesday on a 3-game winning streak. Doncic has played a big role in that, scoring at least 26 points in all 3 contests, and not getting into any more sideline arguments with his coach. 3 straight wins after the incident. Doncic playing at a high level in all 3. No lingering tension, no further confrontations, no anonymous reports of locker room discord, none of it. The results on the court painted an entirely different picture than the narrative being spun online. Based on Redick's remarks, things are fine between them, and it was a very normal exchange. With that, the Lakers have won 3 games in a row after initially struggling out of the NBA All-Star break. And Redick addressed the idea of dealing with outside noise as a coach of the Lakers. It just feels normal, which is probably part of the reason I wanted to coach the Lakers, Redick said with a laugh. He went on to say, "You do it and you move on. I think the reality is, everybody is going to always have an opinion. Since pro sports have existed, everybody has always had an opinion. There's been sports talk, there's been barbershops, chat rooms. So here's where we land. JJ Redick has not quit as Lakers coach. There is no indication that he is going to quit. There is no indication that Luka Doncic has a problem with him, and there is no indication that this sideline incident was anything more than a competitive exchange between a coach and a player in the middle of a game. McMenamin's report reflects the reality. There is no problem between Doncic and Redick, but there are problems with the team, and they are significant, with the playoffs just over a month away. That is the real story here. Not the 10-second clip, not the fist bump that was refused, not the words exchanged on the sideline. The real story is what the Lakers are dealing with as a team as they push toward the postseason. The team is 11-6 in games where Doncic, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves have all been available, but that doesn't mean they're playing well together, writes Law Murray of The Athletic. LA has only outscored opponents by 3 total points in the 297 minutes they've all been on the court, and they're producing 109.2 points per 100 possessions in lineups that feature all 3 players, which would rank 29th in the league. That is a concerning number. When your 3 best players are on the floor together and the offense is functioning at a level that would rank 29th in the NBA, something is off. Redick himself has acknowledged this challenge. The bigger challenge is when they're all on the court together, Redick said, because they all want the basketball. And the reality, people have to sacrifice. The other 2 guys also have to sacrifice. They're out there with those 3 guys. LeBron, his usage is low for his career. That is the tension, not between Redick and Luka, not between the coach and any one player. The tension is in figuring out how to make 3 high-usage ball-dominant players coexist on the same court. LeBron has publicly deferred to Doncic. He has said, "Luka is our franchise for this ball club. He don't need to bend his game. It's up to us to bend our game around him." That is about as clear a statement of hierarchy as you will hear from a 40-year-old 4-time champion. But even with that public deference, making it work on the floor is a different matter. And Redick knows it. He is trying to solve a puzzle that very few coaches in NBA history have had to solve. You have Doncic, who is leading the league with 32.5 points per night, and the Lakers' offensive rating of 120.6 in his minutes on the floor would rank number 1 in the NBA across a full season. When Doncic is on the court, the offense is elite. It isn't his most efficient season, and his turnovers are up year over year, but Redick clearly knows how to design an offense with Doncic as the conductor. The question is how to maintain that level when LeBron and Reeves are also on the floor, all needing the ball, all wanting to make plays. That is a coaching challenge, not a personality conflict. And then there is the technical foul situation. The Lakers' recent win came at a cost, with star point guard Luka Doncic being assessed his 14th technical foul on the season, putting him just 2 shy of receiving an automatic 1-game suspension. Doncic's temper on the court, his arguing with referees, is something that has followed him for his entire career. Los Angeles is also just 2 games ahead of the 7th-seeded Suns to avoid the play-in tournament. All of that only further underlines the importance of Doncic not picking up any additional technical fouls. The Lakers sit at 37-24 on the season, positioned in the 6th spot in the Western Conference. They are in a tight race. They are currently in the 6th spot in the Western Conference standings, trailing the Denver Nuggets by a half game for the 5th seed ahead of Thursday's contest in Denver. The Lakers are also just 1.5 games behind the Houston Rockets for the 3rd seed, so the margin between home court in the first round and being stuck in the play-in tournament is razor thin, and that is where a suspension for Doncic accumulating too many technicals becomes a real problem, not a hypothetical one. A real, tangible, on-the-schedule problem. The team has a brutal stretch coming up. Games against Denver, the Knicks, the Timberwolves, the Rockets, the Cavaliers, and the Thunder are all on the remaining schedule. Losing Doncic for even one of those games because he could not keep his emotions in check with the referees would be a significant blow. That is what Redick is managing right now. That is the pressure he is operating under every single night. He is not just trying to get the right lineup combinations figured out or design the right plays for 3 stars. He is trying to keep his franchise player from getting suspended during the most important stretch of the regular season. Redick himself had addressed the controversy, claiming that he shared a great relationship with Luka and felt that the exchange was entirely normal. At the same time, much has been made of the incident, with some suggesting the existence of a feud between the 2 prominent Lakers figures. However, that does not appear to be the case, with the lip reader also interpreting the exchange as a result of adrenaline and not of a more serious feud. So when you take a step back and look at the full picture, what do you see? You see a second-year head coach who has already won 50 games in his first season and got a contract extension. You see a franchise player averaging over 32 points per game and leading the league in scoring. You see a team on a 3-game winning streak after the incident in question. You see both the coach and the player laughing about the moment days later. You see multiple sources confirming the relationship is strong. And you see the team sitting in the playoff picture within striking distance of a top 4 seed in the West. The Lakers would probably be more worried if Luka didn't react and Redick just shrugged it off. In a league where everyone is constantly looking for drama, this one feels more like a quick flare-up between 2 competitors, who will probably be laughing about it the next time they win a big game together. According to Redick, the entire situation even became a source of humor once he and Doncic realized how widely the video had spread. Our relationship is strong. It's only going to get stronger. So has JJ Redick quit as Lakers coach after the Luka Doncic incident? No, not even close. What happened on that sideline was a moment. 10 seconds out of a 48-minute basketball game that the Lakers won by 28 points. It was a moment between 2 competitive people who want the same thing, to win. It was a moment that got captured on camera and turned into something it was never meant to be. The real challenges facing this Lakers team are not about a sideline argument. They are about figuring out how to make a 3-star lineup work at the highest level, keeping Doncic from getting suspended via technicals, and navigating a brutal remaining schedule in a conference where the margin between a top seed and the play-in is almost nothing. Those are the things that will determine whether this Lakers season is remembered as a success or a failure, not a fist bump that was refused during a 28-point blowout win. JJ Redick is not going anywhere. Luka Doncic is not going anywhere. And the Lakers, for all their real issues, are still very much in the mix.